Welcome to another Kings of War Battle Report, Tournament Report. Varangur versus the Northern Alliance, 2150 points. The scenario was plunder. Alright, over the last several weeks, we've been doing Randy and Craig's Ginormous Tournament, which is a tournament set up for two players that have 4 armies each. I'll quickly read you the rules, and the game you're about to watch today is Game 6. Each player will have 4 armies they can use throughout the event. Each army must be used 2 times each. Any army that has won must be used in the following game. The other player has a choice of which army they will try and gain their revenge with. Any winning army may modify their list by 15% before playing their next game. They will not know their next opponent, but that is to correct any design errors. Scoring will be by the blackjack system. At the end of 8 games, the scores will be total. If the total scores are within 10% of each other, it is a draw. A different scenario must be used in each game. Once that scenario is rolled, it is marked off the list of available scenarios. The first game of the event, it is player's choice of which army to field. If the game is a draw, then each player can play whatever army they want in the following game. For those of you that haven't watched these, they're actually on my YouTube channel. The tournament report progress so far is Game 1 was the Empire of Dust versus the Brotherhood. Craig beat me 14-7. Game 2 was the Empire of Dust versus the Forces of Nature. I won that one 15-6, and then again the Forces of Nature beat down the Salamanders 15-6. Salamanders got revenge by slaughtering my Brotherhood 14-7. In Game 5, it was a very tight game between the Varangur and Northern Alliance, and I won that one 14-7. In Game 6, stay tuned. So yeah, this is the same list we used in the last game because they have to, and Craig just chose to go ahead and use Northern Alliance again instead of switching over to whatever his last army is. I don't know if it's Sylvankin or if he has elves, but that's what his last army is going to be. He did change his list slightly with the Naiads turning into a Naiad horde with the hammer measured force. Over here on my left flank is my unit of horse raiders with the axe upgrade. Then they have a unit of Draugr, and then a troop of tundra wolves. And then this is the first Sons of Korgan unit I have, and this is the one that has the brutal upgrade. And then there's another unit of Draugr, and their goal in life is to get the second token is there. In between is my Thane on Frostfang, and he has the Inspiring Talisman. Then yet another unit of Sons of Korgan with the brutal rule. In the woods is a unit of Draugr, and their goal is to go for the middle token. So you see a pattern here. And next is I call it the Chosen, but that's not his name. Let me see what his really name is. The Cursed Son. The Cursed Son, he is sitting there next to a unit of Tundra Wolves. And then both units of Sons of Korgan, these both have the Guile upgrade, which gives them stealthy, and since there's 3 bolt throwers up on that hill, that's probably a good idea. Somewhere over there is Magneld. His goal in life was going to be to make a big jump toward the middle of the table and then jump up there to try to get a hold of the bolt throwers and get them out of the game as quickly as possible. So yeah, over here is Craig's Northern Alliance army. I think he starts off on the left flank with a horde of Naiads with the hammer of measured force. Behind them is a unit of snow trolls. Then on the hill, 3 bolt throwers, or whatever they're called, icekin bolt throwers, something like that. Then his general on Frostfang, next to them a unit of snow foxes, and then a horde of Frostfangs, and next to them is a horde of trolls, and there's some snow foxes in front of them as well. And then you have over here on the right side a Naiad regiment with, I think that is the Thane with the loot behind them. And finally on the extreme right flank is a unit of snow trolls. So he is kind of packed in, kind of refusing that his right flank. Against my speed, I don't know if that's such a great idea, but we'll have to see what happens there because my guys on this end are going to move like lightning around the end of the table here. Okay, so Craig won the roll and took first turn this time. Usually he lets him. He goes second on these objective grabbing things, but since his army's a little slower, I suppose he wanted to get a jump on me because I am going to be on those tokens in 1 turn if you don't watch it. So up here on the end, the Naiad horde moved forward. Behind them, the trolls in support. The snow foxes move into the swamp with his general in support behind them, and Frostfangs moved up as well. They all just kind of moved up. I think their base move, and then over in front of the other horde of trolls, the snow foxes moved up there. Up on the hill, the Naiad regiment and the snow troll horde moved up on top of the big hill that's over there, with snow foxes in front of them. My play in this game, if you don't know, is, from looking at it, I'm actually just trying to get the left 3 tokens. I really don't care about what's happening on the right over here. Even though there's a lot of very expensive units in my army over here on the right, I realized pretty quick he didn't have a whole lot over on his right. So my goal is to sell the souls of these guys down here on this end to get those 3 left tokens. So that's my plan. We'll see how I execute it. So yeah, I'd taken some shooting damage. I think 2 or 3 to the Cursed Sun, and then some to the brutal chariots here in the middle. Cursed Sun, he was getting up there in damage. I think Craig was going to try to take him out because he is really good for just zinging out there to do stuff. And now see where I put Magnell. Magnell is right beside the Cursed Sun in the middle of the table. I'm just trying to get there. What I want to do is, as soon as those trolls move forward, I want to make the jump. I want to use my one-shot flying ability and just hit the hole over on the other side, and then the following turn go ahead and try to kill the bolt throwers. One of the things I've learned from playing my Kingdoms of Men army is just to try to be a lot more patient with flyers and not get them killed right off the bat every game, which is hard for me to do. But everything moved up pretty far. I was trying to stay out of charge range of most stuff. I think there is some stuff in charge range, but to me, if it's stuff he will charge, it's probably not of consequence to me. Over here on the left flank, I just moved the Tundra Wolves up, since they're nimble, up beside the tower, and set up for flank charges on anything that, they've got a really long charge range, 18 inches, so right there I could almost charge anything that goes for that middle token in the flank. So really, they're not really like hounds in other armies. They're not chaff. They're like light cavalry, and that's the way you have to treat them and have to use them. So moving them up and taking my little nimble move there, that's already kind of sealing this left flank for him really doing anything, because there are still 2 Sons of Korgan regiments over here and that Thane as well. And then I'll show you the other trick. So yeah, I sent the Draugr on an ambling up to get the first token. They're hauling butt, 8 inches a turn, so they run up there. But better yet, my mounted troops, though, they run up their full move and then turn to the right. So now they're threatening the flank of the snow trolls right off the bat. Now, I don't think that they would actually hurt the snow trolls if they charged in. But the thing is it's just the threat of them being there, either shooting or just trying to be behind the army. So like I said, it already kind of pinched this flank off, so I really don't have to worry about this token down here on the left anymore, because really nothing can get to it. So once the Draugr make their move, that's one in my box of tokens. So over here on his turn 2, the Naiads moved up. There's really nothing I'm going to be able to do about them. I'm going to have to fight them at some point, and they'll eventually kill me, I'm sure. But at least I'm keeping them occupied. I just didn't want to get up there to the point where he could charge the trolls in. I wanted him to be blocked by the Naiads for as long as possible. I just didn't want the trolls and the Naiads to be on me. Unit of Snow Foxes moved up to try to chaff up my unit of Sons of Korgan. The Snow Foxes charged the Tundra Wolves and did 1 wound to them, so not a whole lot of damage caused there. His general moved up a little bit into the edge of the swamp, sticking his nose in there. Everything else on the middle didn't move up very far. I think it may have just moved up base move, trying to support the attack in the middle. So the Naiad regiment moved up behind the wall to at least secure that middle. I don't think he actually picked the token up. He didn't want to for some reason. And if you've seen what I actually did something good this game, those 2 units, the Thane on the Frostfang and that unit of Sons of Korgan, which is represented by 2 chariots on the appropriate Sons of Korgan base, I must say. But they have both have Strider, so yeah, that would be normally hard to get those guys from behind the wall, but having 2 units with Strider sure as hell helps. The trolls just over there on the end just backed up a little bit and leaving their Snow Fox brothers to die, I'm afraid, from all the stuff that I have going on over on this flank. So good turn. The one thing I want to point out this turn is my Cursed Sun was up to 5 wounds from bolt thrower shots, and this unit here was up to 2 or 3 from bolt thrower shots. The Sons of Korgan unit on the right there, because they have brutal. They don't have the mark of guile or whatever it is. So over here on my turn, I actually just backed up everything again, and the reason why I'm trying to get the dryads or naiads to come in there, I want them to make a hindered charge into my guys instead of a regular charge. And my hope is that I could then get a flank on them with this other unit of Sons of Korgan here. I went ahead and chose the sent the Chosen into the Snow Fox unit because they're on 5 wounds, and he has Life Leech 2, and he also, because I'm an asshole, has Han's Sanguinary Scripture, so he has Life Leech 3. So I went ahead and sent him in there to try to gain some of his wounds back before another volley of bolt throwers runs into me. So over on the left flank, this was a general charge by the entirety of the Varangur army. Over, as you can see, of sneaking out from behind the tower, the horse raiders moved in and did a couple of wounds to the trolls with their throwing axes. The Tundra Wolves came out from behind their tower and did a hindered flank charge on these Snow Foxes. Moved the Draugr and the other units of Sons of Korgan up in support. In the middle, I sent my 2 Strider units into that Naiad regiment. Now, it's pretty dicey whether I could get them because of hitting on 4s, but I thought if I could just get them down and then back everything back up, so whatever charges me then they have to deal with the problem of charging over those stupid walls. The Draugr just moved up for one reason alone. That's just to protect the flank, because they are actually dead on whatever the length they needed to be dead on the side of those guys. They were exactly there, so there's not a crack, for an easy flank charge into those Sons of Korgan. So you can see that my plan was successful here, that the middle unit of Naiads was destroyed, and then I secured the token. I don't know if I actually did that right. The token may needed to stay there, but I was right on top of it when I charged, and then when I backed up, I just took it with me. Might have been cheating, but it's hard to say. Anyway, so that plan worked perfectly because I could back up. Now, I think he still might be able to be in charge range of my Sons of Korgan, but taking that hindered, charge over that wall makes it not as a bad thing for those trolls to hit me, whichever unit he wants to hit. So I'm really in good shape here. Now that the wolves are actually on top of the wall, I just don't like balancing my figures on top of a 1/4 inch wide wall, but they were actually on top of the wall, so he could have charged them without them being hindered if he wanted to, but he knew that was going to trigger a horrible reaction from me with a rear charge and 2 charges, a flank and a front, so that probably wouldn't have been a very smart idea. So the aftermath of combat over here saw the Cursed Sun go ahead and kill that unit of Snow Foxes and get back some of his wounds. So he is not in as bad a shape as he was when he went. I think I'm just down to 2 wounds now. So now it's up to Craig to counter, and I've got him beat up pretty well on his left flank, so he needs to make something happen right here on this one to try to get those tokens, or to try to get that middle token. I have no idea why my pictures are so bright. I wasn't even drinking last night, for a change. But anyway, the Naiads charged into the unit of Sons of Korgan, and I think they did 4 wounds, pretty respectable amount of damage. His general on the Frostfang charged in and did 2 wounds to the Cursed Sun. My wolves charged into, his Snow Foxes had been wavered by my Frostfangs in that turn, so they really can't do anything. The trolls turned backwards to start looking toward the artillery hill, because you see where my dude, he flew over there and was standing there looking at all 3 bolt throwers, and they did some damage to him, but not enough to stop him from what was going to happen next. Magnilla followed, I'm sorry, that's who he is. So he'd use his one-time flying attack, just like I said, to jump over the lines in one go, and he has a 14-inch charge range as an individual, so he could go a lot of places into, either help me out with a melee down here or go up and start killing bolt throwers. So yeah, Craig launched an all-out attack for the middle to try to get that token back. On the left side there, his trolls charged into the Sons of Korgan. Over in the very middle, the other unit of trolls made a hindered charge into the Draugr along with the Frostfang cavalry. And what follows is some of the most atrocious dice rolling. I thought my dice could be bad. Oh no, my dice was not bad. He goes in there with those guys on the right there. That is 48 attacks and rolls snake eyes. So they are totally stuck behind that unit of Draugr that cost me, what, 70 points? I hate the rule. And I'm sure Craig will now echo the hatred of that rule, but I do not like the rule either. And I hate to see it on somebody else happen the same way, because I mean, he did nothing wrong there. He set the charge up to go in and kill it, then maybe move forward and do some more damage next turn to get that token. There's nothing you can do. You just roll damn snake eyes and it's freaking game over. In this case, it literally is game over, because now his other trolls on the left there charge over the hill, hit one time, do no wounds to the Sons of Korgan. And now, as you can see, there are another Sons of Korgan unit that is going to charge him in the flank, and they're not going to be hindered because he's on the wall and I'm not. So this is going to be a bad response for Craig. So yeah, the response to that was brutal and swift as the other Sons of Korgan unit charged into the flank of the trolls. That's 36 attacks coming in, plus the Thane. It's 5 plus the 18 from the front, hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s. And so the trolls, they just died instantly. And the Draugr actually had reformed and charged into the Frostfangs over there, which is probably a mistake. I probably should have just charged in to the other ones. But the thing was, no matter what was going to happen, because his way his army is so bent over now, it was going to have a hard time recovering from this. The Tundra Wolves went ahead and took the token and went forward. That was just to get out of the way of my charge. So now I've got 3 tokens, very, very secure, and trying to get the I don't need any more to win. I just need these 3 to not die and try to hold on to them. So over here, the Cursed Sun, he did not want any part of fighting that stupid Lord on a Frostfang again. But that allowed the Sons of Korgan, though, to get a charge right into him. The Cursed Sun was down 4 wounds, but I was trying to get back into the fight. I actually think I should have hit them in the flank, because that's actually where I should have hit them. But model might be in the wrong position. But there's no way. The reason I couldn't charge them. So I knew I was going to run in there and get some more wounds back, and then start causing mayhem again. I didn't do very much damage back to his Naiads. I don't know, I probably did a few. I don't know, maybe 5 or 6. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too good either. But I went ahead and wavered his general on the Frostfang, because Sons of Korgan do not mess around when they start to hurt stuff. They really do a good job of hurting stuff. So anyway, they wavered him, and so basically his general's a dead man next turn from that unit. And because even if then I could even charge my other hero in there and let him have it with 7 more swings if I need to kill him. So I'm in good position there. So here's the aftermath of the turn, just to show you that the trolls are missing in action now. And if Craig charged, he could charge into my Sons of Korgan again in the front there, but he's going to be hindered because he's on top of the wall. And hitting on 5 sucks. Just want to point that out if anybody didn't know that. But anyway, this is where we were at the end of this turn. So yeah, this is what happened on the, if you see the picture of the left flank here. At this point, we just decided to call the game. There was nothing good going to happen the rest of this game, because I had already had 3 tokens. He wasn't going to get them. There was no way he was going to get the 3 tokens I had. And then now my Magniel is rampaging through his bolt throwers. And then over here, the Frostfangs are about to catch it from something nasty too. There's really nothing they could do. I mean, he's stuck. He has to kill the Draugr. And when he does that, then he's going to get flank charged by something else. So we just decided to call the game at this point. I wrote it down 14-7. So that's the end of this game, and so it's a win for the Varangur in Game 6. So what I really think happened this game, and Craig was the one that he said he nailed it instantly, is the fact that my guys are so fast that it just was, I was on him so quick, and having to deal with it. And then the second thing was rolling bad dice. I mean, that was killer. But I really think though that my speed did get him, because he could really, there was nothing he had in his army that could outcharge me. And once I had put the Tundra Wolves in the list, I was able to easily handle his chaff. So I didn't have to deal with chaff, then he had to deal with it. And so that was really a big turning point of the game, just being able to have all of that, getting rid of his chaff. I don't have any missile fire or anything except those throwing axes. So I have really nothing to do with chaff, except that my chaff, which is actually not really chaff, they're more like light cav, are pretty decent about taking out other people's chaff because of their superior speed. So I really think that was the big difference in the battle, was just the speed. And I've been looking forward to playing Varangur against Northern Alliance, because they're basically kind of the same army. The difference is I was using the units, some of the units that were different, which are the Draugr and the Sons of Korgan. And the Draugr, I mean, I use them for placeholders. They're not to hurt anything. I don't even use them as chaff. Their goal in life is to walk forward and grab a token. Their goal in life is to sit back and hold a section of the table. I have nothing in the offense for them at all, and just could care less about them. But in these scenarios like this, it's just nice having those three little crap units that just go do things, and you're not worried about them. You know, we're not worried about them losing, because you know they're not going to hurt anything. So anyway, that's a very, they're kind of I guess and they have unit strength on top of that, so that's even better. So I'm just saying is that in an army of mine, it's all cavalry essentially. They're a nice addition to that army. I mean, they could be anything else too. I mean, if I was playing at more points, I might not use Draugr. I might use something else, you know, Klansmen or something to do the same job, which are a little more resilient. But that's how it works. The character mix in this army, with the two guys that have 7 swings, and then the Thane on the Frostfang with his Strider and stuff, is really decent. I mean, this is not, I don't know whose list. I think this is Chris Christopherson's list that I stole from him shamelessly. But I really like it. I mean, because it's just, everything has a synergy. You know, if you don't think that your units can break somebody because you're hitting 4s because of being hindered or something else, you throw the extra character in there, and then you basically 7 more swings, and that tips it your way. So that's the way it's worked out every game so far. It's just like, you know, well, I don't know if I could break that unit because I'm hitting on 4s, but then I throw in one of the 3 characters, and with them I can. So I mean, that's really what does, and they're all very quick. I mean, Magnil, even though he's on foot, moves 14 if he needs to, can fly 20 once a game if he needs to. So he's a really good character, and for not a whole lot of points. The Cursed Sun is really good. I mean, the Life Leech too, and then I throw in Hans on him. It kind of makes him pricey a little bit, but he's very hard to kill. I mean, if you throw fireballs and stuff at him, you know, all I got to do is you leave me a chaff unit out there, I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to get all my wounds back. So that's how I play with him, and he works pretty well for that. The Thane on Frostfang, he's great just because he's got, you know, he's one thing. He goes with that unit of Sons of Korgan. He is their escort, and he gives them inspiring, and he has Strider, so he can keep pace with them. And that really helps out a lot. And you saw, I mean, that part of my plan for that wall it worked absolutely to perfection. I mean, having those 2 units with Strider ready right there to seize that middle. I don't know what would happen if it kept playing, but I really don't think it would have changed the outcome 1 iota because of, I mean, I really think the Naiads would have killed my Chosen over there. I mean, my Sons of Korgan over there. But eventually, though, my other units of Sons of Korgan would have probably gotten their flank and annihilated them, or just a couple of heroes at one time in their flank or rear, because just that many. There you go, 14 swings in the flank. You know, no, they don't double or anything, but that's 14 swings that hit on 3s and wound on anything but a 1, and aren't bothered by the ensnare at all. So I mean, who knows what would have happened there. But I think we were right to call it, because the dice thing in the middle was just stranded his whole damn army in the worst possible damn spot. And like I said, I hate that rule. I mean, is it nice that it happens to somebody else every once in a while besides me? Yeah, but I still hate the rule. I mean, it's not a point. It's a point. I mean, I would have rather kept the game going and fought it out than to sit there and deal with the damn snake eyes. And it wasn't the only one. He rolled another one somewhere else, and I don't remember what it was on, but it was like, but I mean that was inconsequential. It didn't hurt anything. But the point being is, it's just such a gut pounding rule, and it's something that I've seen happen to a bunch of people, which is they charge you. You know, you don't need both units to kill that unit of Draugr, right? But you charge both in there because you have another plan. Well, that's when the snake eyes get you, because I've seen that happen enough times. In other words, I really think that part of the snake eyes mitigation is not to charge in overwhelmingly on a unit that you should blow away. I mean, Draugr are nothing. They're easy to kill. They have low leadership. At best, the thing that should have happened is just one unit charge them, because that was going to be enough. In my theory is that would have been enough to kill them, and probably the Frostfang guys, because they wouldn't have been affected by terrain if they happened to be wavered. So I mean not wavered, hindered. So anyway, that's I guess it's starting to become part of my snake eyes mitigation, is not double charging things that you don't need to double charge, because I think sometimes we invite it on ourselves, and the dice gods look down and go, oh, look at those morons, let's throw snake eyes at them, bammo, and there goes your plan. Thanks, Craig. We're going to have there's potentially 2 more games to the tournament. And the only army I have left are my undead, which I've been saving for last in case I needed them, in case I was down a couple of games and needed to try to win 2. I'm happy to say, with the changes in the new book, that my undead army has not changed one bit, because I think my undead army is kinder and gentler and not affected by all the filth that everybody else's is. So anyway, my army was not affected in the least by the changes. So I guess that maybe I was just play a little bit more vanilla than most people do. I'm not, we play for, yeah, there's some hard stuff in these games, but we're still not playing the most over the top list possible. We still both play to have fun, and every game in this tournament so far has been close, except that this has been the only game that wasn't close. All the rest of them are just nail biters down to the end, where you're sweating and your stomach hurts and everything else. This one is just, I guess it was just, we were due for one that just the dice just went crap on somebody, and circumstances just ran out of control. So anyway, we got at least one more, maybe 2. So we'll see what happens the next time. Again, thank you for watching the battle reports. I hope you've enjoyed all of these battles so far, and I'm looking forward to doing the next 2.